When it comes to Spider-Man games and human history as we know it, there's only two eras that really matter. Life before the 2004 Spider-Man 2 game, and life after the 2004 Spider-Man 2 game. Life before was chaos. It was full of these side-scrolling platformer type games with varying degrees of quality, and even one where the health bar was Spider-Man turning into a skeleton to show you just how dead he really is on the inside. Now I'm sure there's some diamonds in the rough during that era, but it pales in comparison to what the 2004 Spider-Man game brought to the table. When that masterpiece rolled around, no longer were players trapped in this boring-ass two-dimensional world and forced to look at what professional game historians call sprites. That is so 2000 and late. Spider-Man 2 took the 3 dimensions of the first 3D Spider-Man game, slapped a 2 on the box, and just like magic, a gaming classic was born. The freedom of web-slinging through the city wherever and whenever you pleased was incredible. Wow. You want to climb the Empire State Building and take an Olympic dive right off of it? Be my guest. You want to deliver some authentic Italian pizza to the local villagers of New York? Bon appetit, bitch. But whatever you do, make sure you're only playing Spider-Man 2 from this approved list of consoles, because by Jove, if you stray from this path and choose from this list here covered by a black square and question mark, you might as well be punching your unborn child straight in the stomach. I'm of course talking about the cursed PC port of Spider-Man 2, and for full disclosure, there is also a Mac version of this game. On 3, 1, 2. In this PC Abomination, you can't just have fun and shoot your webs all willy-nilly to get around town. You've got to shoot at these specific web targets in order to swing around, and as a matter of fact, you can't even climb some of the buildings all the way. So if you're in New York City and you're thinking about committing a crime, just plan it out, make sure you're above the 25th story, and Spider-Man physically won't be able to stop you. As a bright young lad, I didn't play more than 5 minutes before immediately ejecting the game disc and never touching it again. But here we are now with me playing through the entire game, and all I gotta say is, whoo doggy. Our game begins with a cutscene where Doc Ock is showing off his new miniature son. Things obviously go wrong because the sun belongs in space, but have no fear because Spider-Man is here to bust through the window and just stand there staring at the malfunctioning sun. And then it just cuts to the outside for the tutorial portion, so why did you show me that cutscene? The game completely forgets about the whole ass sun about to blow up, and instead, we go chasing a van full of criminals trying to bust out more criminals, and I've got one word for the combat.
Wow.
That is gonna give me a spider.
Wait, where did he go? Now you may or may not have noticed, but the combat sucks dirty cheeks. The enemy AI is dumb as a bag of peanut shells, and there's no variation to Spider-Man's moves. They couldn't even get the guns to look like guns. That looks like it squirts water, not bullets. Now, the only thing that's probably worse than the combat is Tobey Maguire's voice acting.
Great, more thugs. I was starting to get restless.
Jesus, Tobey, I get it, okay? You're restless, but tone down the enthusiasm.
Sounds like trouble.
You know what? I'm not even gonna move. I wanna see what happens. So just like in the main version of the game, Spider-Man has to take down Rhino in his goofy-ass running animation. The police corner Rhino into this UFC fighting ring, and you just have to jump over Rhino, let him hit the wall, wait for him to come back to the center of the ring, just to do it all again. That's what I call quality gameplay.
I'm gonna chisel me some spider jelly.
What does that even mean? Eventually, Rhino busts out of the octagon, explodes a gas station, and Doc Ock picks him up with his hentai tentacles, and you get the incredible privilege of fighting fires after fighting crime. Challenge cleared! And now it's time to take Aunt May to the bank. What could go wrong?
Peter, thank you for taking time out of your school day to come to the bank with me.
Sorry, I don't feel well. Will you excuse me?
Of course, I'll be right here.
The Octopus Man blows up a bank, walks in all smooth, and pretends he's not choking on dust while Peter hides in the bathroom like a little bitch.
First things first, gotta find Aunt May.
Did you not see the explosion? You might be looking for a corpse. She's dead. Nope, she's fine. While fighting bad guys through this labyrinth of a bank, I learned 2 things. 1, Spider-Man has suction cups under his feet. And 2, Spider-Man doesn't know how to use a doorknob. To get into certain rooms, you either have to find an open door and jump above a wall to get to the bad guys in the next room, or punch the shit out of the door. Peter! So you go down to the safes, you save all the useless guards stuck down there, and you come face to face with Doc Ock standing on a pile of money. Huh, Doc Ock's weaknesses includes being mentally unstable. Back of the line. You know that old Hasbro Simon toy where you have to press the blinking buttons in order? Yeah, that's basically this entire boss fight. It's really a miracle this bank hasn't been robbed before if that's how you unlock a maximum security door. Damn it, I don't remember. To no surprise, after beating the doc, he gets away with his goons and they kidnap Aunt May. Why she didn't evacuate the goddamn building with everyone else is beyond me.
Come on, lady, you're riding with us.
Help, Spider-Man!
Really? Was that really your best cry for help? Where is the sense of urgency? I feel like she low-key wants to ride with them. I think she secretly loves the bad boy type, especially the way they name call Spider-Man.
You and me, pajama boy.
After a heart-racing car chase that I spent most of the time on foot because there were no dumbass web-slinging points near me, you beat up the baddies and save your aunt, who's a little baddie in her own respect, if you know what I mean.
Why don't you go get a real job?
Why are we still here?
After what I assume has been another day gone by since the bank robbery, Peter and Mary Jane are walking down the street when all of a sudden her car goes sliding by. And I say sliding because those wheels are not turning whatsoever. After another adrenaline-pumping chase scene where the carjackers nicely wait for me to catch up in order to keep driving, out comes Puma, whose voice actor is probably the only one actually trying in this game.
Get him!
You see that, Toby? That's acting. So you punch a couple hundred guys into another dimension, get to the boss fight, and the game really makes good use of all the lines they wrote for Puma. Specifically this one line.
Try this one on for size. Try this one on for size. Try this one on for size.
Puma, please stop. I'm done trying these on for size. None of these PVC pipes are gonna fit me, dude. Stop.
Try this one on for size.
While Spider-Man was off trying things on for size with Puma, Mary Jane gets kidnapped by the Ock, and now the Oscorp building apparently has a bunch of bombs going off. There's a lot happening.
Spider-Man, Doc Ock is going to blow up the building. He set 8 bombs, and they're already ticking down.
How are you so calm about that? Usually in a situation like this, you dial that special 3-digit number and let the professionals handle the diffusion of the bombs. Seriously, there's like 8 in this one building, but have no fear, Spider-Man is a certified professional of the Simon memory game. Easy, I got this. God damn! After what seems like a millennia, you defuse all the 8 bombs, Doc Ock is seen on the phone talking with somebody mysterious, and Rhino comes back.
Where you gonna run this time, web slinger? Ain't much room to dodge in here.
You freeze him to death, run outside to catch up with the Doc, and what the fuck kind of bullshit are we up to now? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this level. Don't worry, I'm doing you a favor. The amount of glitchy gimmicks involved in this one is rage-inducing. Like, for example, these boulders, you're supposed to toss them over to the other platform where the turrets are so you can distract the turrets and shoot them from behind and explode them. They don't work. They just hit invisible walls, and you have to keep trying until you find the one that decides to work. Or this. Why did he stop punching Mysterio at the end of the boss fight? Look at the health bar. What are we waiting for? God damn it! Is this all by design? I'm not sure. All that matters is that Mysterio gets defeated, Spider-Man gets back to the real New York, and we are finally going to the final level. The train level. My favorite part of this game in the worst way possible. So you hop onto the train with the doctor to try to have him release Mary Jane, but you also have to dodge an array of different objects thrown by the Octopus Man and other people? Who is throwing a phone booth at Spider-Man from the rooftops? I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Doc Ock can find all this rubble to throw at Spider-Man, or the fact that Spider-Man's little spider jizz pellets can deflect an entire car into space. Now I wonder if there's people inside those cars. Where do you think they're floating off to? And more importantly, what do you think the people inside the train are thinking right now? God damn, Spidey, who's cleaning all this up? Spidey leaves the bodies of hundreds of people in the burning metro train to infiltrate Doc Ock's confusing-ass high-security base to eventually find him working at a computer and holding back tears from Mary Jane's sick-ass burns.
I don't know what you're up to, Pencil Neck, but I predict total failure.
After some more goon fighting, you bust through the wall with your bare fists and you find where MJ is held. You and the Doc have a little exchanging of words, a little one-on-one tickle fight with his tentacles, and then the Sun Machine bullshit from the beginning of the game starts to malfunction again, which gives Spider-Man and Mary Jane enough time to escape by sliding off the screen. Finally, the final phase of the final boss fight. It's pretty simple. Just dodge or shoot more of the Doctor's flying garbage while blasting more Spider Nut at the four corners of the platform to cause an explosion and stun the Octopus Man in order to get close enough to punch his lights out. Do that about 3 or 4 more times and eventually...
Good heavens, my boy. What have I done?
Well, let's see. As the brave man that he is, Doc Ock decides to sacrifice himself and destroy his infinite energy sun machine thing. That gives Spider-Man and MJ enough time to escape and watch the building get swallowed up into some sort of black hole and die. Watching someone else go through a literal self-destruction together? Now that's peak romance, my dudes. And that's it. No closure. They just stare at each other and go, well, that guy was weird, huh? Why don't we go home and rewatch Gossip Girl together? To the game's credit, the PC version of Spider-Man 2 has all the rough story beats of the console version, but all the actual fun gameplay parts are sucked out. It's like a watered-down fan-made game done for a college project. It feels so lacking in every department, and it handles the story about as well as I handle breathing underwater.
Not very well.